Hi there, this is Tyler with Evalence Renewables. I'm making this video today to assist with troubleshooting APsystems, microinverter systems, data and connectivity issues, specifically troubleshooting steps related to the ECU-R device. Now, APsystems products, they work really well. We install a lot of their microinverters at Evalence. They're easy to use, easy to commission, generally just a great product. But there are times where they do have connectivity issues. And when that happens, it's confusing and frustrating for customers. Often it will look like your system is not producing any electricity and that it's completely not working. But majority of the time, it is actually just a data issue, and you're just not seeing the data on your device. So we want to help people with this tutorial, just make it a little bit more simple to understand how to troubleshoot, as well as just basic troubleshooting steps and best practices that we've learned through helping people with their systems. By the way, if you prefer a guide, we do have a downloadable PDF on our website, as well as blog post about this topic. So feel free to head there in the link below, and you can get the information that way as well. Okay, so getting into the troubleshooting. 3 things must be true for the ECU-R to be working properly. Number 1, your solar breakers need to be in the on position. Number 2, your ECU-R needs to be connected to power. And number 3, your ECU-R needs to be connected to the internet. If any of those 3 things are not correct, your system will not be transmitting data properly. Okay, so for the first troubleshooting step, checking that the solar breakers are in the on position, you're going to go find your electrical panel in your home. Typically, this will be in your basement, in a utility room. It could even be in your garage. You're going to access it and take a look at the solar breaker there. The solar breaker, it's the one that's labeled with a bright red sticker that says solar PV on it typically. So you'll look for that. There's also usually a bit of a metal locking hasp on it. So that's another clue that you've got the right breaker. And you want to check that that's in the on position. On breakers, they're typically labeled with an on one side and an off on the other. So you want to check that that handle is pushed all the way to the on side of the breaker. So keep an eye out for that. Additionally, if your system has a sub panel or a disconnect switch, you're going to want to make sure that all of the solar breakers in the system are turned on and that the on switch is also in the on position. So the next step for troubleshooting is checking that your ECU-R is plugged in and connected to power. I've got an example right here beside me to just go over for you. So here we've got our APsystems ECU-R. It's connected to power with this black cable right here. You can see that it's plugged in to the back of it, checking it, and it's firm. The biggest giveaway that is connected to power is clearly just the green light beside the power symbol. Shows that it's receiving power. You want to make sure that this light is a solid green. If it's not a solid green, or if it's blinking, you're going to want to check a couple things. So the first thing you can check is that the connection into the back of the unit is solid and it's plugged in all the way. The second thing, you can check that it's plugged in firmly into the wall or power bank that you have back there. So there's 2 things that you can check. If it's still not showing up as green, you can check a different outlet in your house. Perhaps there's an issue with the existing outlet. You could also rule out that the outlet is an issue by plugging in your phone charger, for example, and seeing if it'll charge your phone in that spot. Those are all things that you'll want to do to check. If it turns out that you can't make that power light go green and that it's not connecting to the power, you may have another type of issue or a problem with the device, and then that makes sense to reach out to your installer at that point. Okay, so if your power is on your device, your breakers are on, the next step is to check for connectivity issues. So looking at my ECU-R example right here, I've got a green light beside the power, but I have no light beside the connectivity symbol on the bottom. Now, you will either see this being completely off or it may be blinking if you're having issues. If this is working properly, it'll be a solid green light. One more thing, it just came to my mind, but it's really important. When you are having trouble with connectivity and you are trying to connect to different ports, when you do make a change, just try to leave it for a while. So if you connected to a new port, give it an hour or 2, see if that light turns solid, and don't expect your app to update right away. It does take some time for this to propagate. It logs the data, but it's not instantaneous. And one of the worst things you can do is repeatedly plug and unplug it. I find that that can almost confuse the device and make troubleshooting more difficult. So definitely be mindful of that. Be mindful of just being a bit more patient than you probably would normally be, and just testing one thing at a time and seeing if that will work. So in my case, it's pretty clear the issue. This does not have a connection with an Ethernet cable. It's been unplugged in this example. So that's usually the easiest way to fix this. These can either be connected with Ethernet or they can be connected with Wi-Fi. Ethernet is always preferred because it's simpler. You simply plug it in. If it's in the correct port, after a few minutes, it'll work properly. Wi-Fi can be done if you don't have an available port, but it's more complicated. Okay, so to fix this, the first thing that I would do would just be to grab an Ethernet cable. I would just connect it like so. Make sure that it's firm and made a snap when I connected it. And then take the other end like so and connect this into the back of your router. That's going to give you the easiest path to power. Once it's connected, another thing that you can do, and I've noticed this helps sometimes, is you can have it connected, be confident that the ports are solid and that it's connected well, and then you can actually disconnect it from power for about 10 seconds and then reconnect it to power. What this will do is it'll reset the box and it will let it reestablish a new connection, and usually that will help solve connectivity issues. Couple other notes on this subject, just for troubleshooting. Make sure that when you connect your device that you're connecting to a LAN port. It'll be labeled LAN. You want to make sure you're connecting to that port. And second, you want to ensure that you're connecting to an unlocked port, one that's available for data transmitting. I've noticed with a lot of newer homes and new setups, there'll often be a TELUS or Shaw provided router at the entrance to the home, maybe in the basement perhaps. And then there is a different type of router that's usually on the main floor or in the office, and it's smaller, a little nicer looking. And that tends to be the router that actually broadcasts the signal through the house. So if you're having issues with one of them, you can always try another one and see if that helps solve your issue. Often it actually does help. Okay, so if you've tried all those methods and you're still having connectivity issues, the last thing that you're going to want to do is try connecting it via internet. A wireless signal can work well, but it is a bit more finicky, so that's why we don't recommend it right away. It also takes a few other steps to get it started. So in this video, I'll show you the steps. There's an app you have to download, the ECU-R Manager app, and then there's a series of steps you have to go through to get it working, but it's very possible, and I'll show you how to do that. All right, so now we'll get into the final steps of connecting the system to Wi-Fi. The first thing that you'll do is you'll download the EMA Manager app. It looks very similar to the normal EMA app, but very clearly says EMA Manager. You'll download that, you'll click open, and here we are. So you don't actually need any credentials to access. What you'll do is you'll click the local access button, you'll click ECU, and you'll get to this window right here. So next step, we will create a hotspot by pressing the AP button on the device. You can see that it's located right here. It's this white button. You'll press and hold it for a few seconds, release, and then give it 30 or 40 seconds to create a network, and then you'll be able to connect to it on your device. So checking my settings, I already connected to this one before, so it automatically joined. But essentially something called ECU_R with a number attached to it will pop up. To join it, you're going to use the password, which is 8 8s in a row. So it's literally 8 8 digits, right? So use that, it'll let you in, and then you can go to the next steps. So it looks like it's thinking for a moment. Okay, so jumping back into it, I had connected on my phone earlier, so now it's not showing me that page that I want to show you. But essentially, once you're connected with the Wi-Fi, you go back to that original page and you click connect, and it takes you to this display right here. So this is kind of your access point. You can see what's going on, and you can access and change the Wi-Fi credentials. So you'll go down to the workspace section, click that right there, and then ECU network settings and WLAN settings, And right now it's off, but you can turn that on and it will load for a moment, and then all of the networks will appear. Once you have a network that you'd like to connect to, you can select it, enter the password, and once it has accepted it, give it some time and it will connect to that network and you'll have your connectivity restored. Again, just remember, once you're connected to it, be patient, give it lots of time to connect, don't unplug it. And if your issues are still not fixed then it's a good time to reach out to your installer for more advice. All right, so those are our top troubleshooting tips for the APsystems ECU-R device. Hopefully that's helpful for you. If you go through this guide and you're still not able to get your system working, definitely reach out to your installer. If Evalence was your installer, please reach out to us and we'll get that working for you. If you're looking for more resources, we have a couple of articles on our website you're welcome to check out. And hopefully that can help solve your issue. Thanks again for watching the video. Have a great day and hope that it was informative and helpful for you. Bye.